All right, guys. If you notice on our syllabus that for this week and next week, our grammar activities are actually the same topic, agreement, when it comes to our subjects and our predicates, particularly when verbs are how we can control that. And I split it up this way, and I'm extending it because for all writers, not just this class or this course or composition students, that is where I find, even sometimes myself, where our errors occur. So I think it's very important to spend this time really refining that and sorting out what rules apply. And so if we look this week at our PowerPoint slides, which are of course available to you, before expressing actions or conditions, verbs have different tenses to indicate what the action or condition, when the action occurred. A tense is the form of the verb that shows the time an action or condition occurred. There are 6 tenses that indicate when an action or condition of a verb is, was, or will be in effect. And then we'll talk a little bit. Each of those 6 have a basic and a progressive form, and we'll talk about what that means. Our basic forms, there's 6, and we notice we probably are all quite familiar with the first 3: present, past, and future, right? Something that's happening now, something happened in the past, and something happened in the future. If you notice the perfect tenses, they all have some form of has, either has, have, or had added to it. And that indicates the idea that the action was occurring and it is completed. So present, I visit the Statue of Liberty. Compared to the present perfect, that's a little more vague, right? When I say I have visited the Statue of Liberty, meaning you've done it, you're not doing it anymore. The visit, it may have occurred, you're visiting it now, you can visit in the future. If you see the distinction there. The past tense, I visited Ellis Island last week. Compared to past perfect, I had visited my grandmother on weekends until the past month. Meaning that it stopped. I can revisit Ellis Island again, maybe, but by what I'm saying, I may not be visiting my grandmother again. Maybe she doesn't need to visit. Maybe she stopped liking me. Who knows? In future perfect, I have visited my aunt once a week. I will have visited my aunt once a week by the end of May. Not that in this one, that it's stopping, but the measurement of it stops, right? Because at the end of May makes a year. That's where that distinction is occurring versus I will visit. And like I said, it's only that adding have, has, or had. The progressive forms of the 6 tenses. These indicate continuing actions, the actions that are in progress and are or were ongoing. And notice if you look at all of them here, and it's different versions of the word drawing or to draw, it's just by adding a form of the linking verb to be. I am drawing right now is the present progressive, meaning as opposed to just the traditional present, I draw. I am drawing is showing that this action is in progress, right? I'm doing it right now. I draw means maybe I enjoy drawing, or maybe that's what I do for my profession. But the fact that I am drawing right now means that that is the action I'm doing. Past progressive, I was drawing when you called, and so on and so forth. Future progressive, I will be drawing all weekend. Present perfect progressive, notice it has that form of has, have, or had, but it's also adding the linking verb of to be, whether is, are, was, were, whatever it is in between, right? I have been drawing more than usual lately. Past perfect progressive, I had been drawing apples until the art teacher suggested I draw boats. And future perfect progressive, I will have been drawing in my spare time for 2 years by the end of this month. Another thing to keep in mind, and we'll talk about this in a second. As I said, one of the pitfalls for writers in general and composition students is not keeping the verb tense consistent across sentences and whole paragraphs. This means that if you start with the present tense, keep your whole sentence, your whole paragraph, your whole message in the present. If you start with the past, keep it in the past. It becomes distracting and confusing for your readers if you're jumping back and forth between tenses. And really, that's my nice way of saying it stops making sense. If you're jumping around in tenses, it doesn't make sense. Like if you're talking about something in the present and then all of a sudden you shift into the past, your reader's like, wait. How is this occurring previously? You're talking about what's happening now. So let's look at some examples of this done well. Notice this sentence has a lot of verbs. He said, past. He thought, past. What he did was, past, the right thing to do. If we change this to present, it doesn't make sense as much, right? If we're saying he said, what did he previously say? That he thought. Okay, that's also in the past. And then we change it to does is the right thing to do. Wait, how does he know what's happening now? He talked about this previously. Look at the second example. The Jeffersons said they enjoyed their trip to Australia last year. There are no other verbs in this sentence to determine, oh, we need to keep it in the same tense. However, the fact other parts of this predicate, such as last year, indicate that it was in the past. We have to keep that in the past. Those two ideas have to match up. If we're saying the Jeffersons said they will enjoy their trip to Australia last year, they're not time travelers. That doesn't make any sense. Next week, we will continue on with agreement, focusing specifically on number, on the number in a subject, such as singularity or plurality, having to match our verbs, as well as tenses. So all of our activities this week, our exercises, are going to focus on keeping the tenses the same. As you're completing them, I definitely recommend you pull up these PowerPoint slides to review what each tense in basic form and progressive form is. Have a good day.